We're back with you live at the ICC, Durban ICC at Travel Indaba 2019, and we're asking the questions, well, what do millennials want out of tourism? I'm joined by an executive at SANParks who is Hapiloe Sello, and you are really essentially in charge of getting us to come to SANParks.
Yes, very, very difficult task indeed, but enjoyable.
Specifically now, you've gone into a survey that checks what is it that millennials are looking for in the tourism sector.
Yes.
How are you going to pull those young people to your parks?
Because it's a bit of a vexing question. It will require a lot out of us, and I'll come back to that. But I just want to talk about millennials as a market segment. They are, in the next few years, probably going to comprise about 70% of the travel market. It's huge, it's massive. And the interesting thing about millennials is that it is said by those who understand segmentation that they are unlike any other market segment. They don't replicate the tendencies and the behaviors of market segments that came before. So you and I are very much like our mothers in how we choose our products, our brands, etc. Your millennials, which is this generation which depends maybe 21 to 35, have broken completely all the rules that we know about.
You can't sell to them.
You can't sell to them. So you need to know what they want. So we needed to do this research. And what has come out, we knew, we needed to verify, is that maybe we're not quite geared to dealing with them the way they want to be dealt with. And it means that we as an entity, South African National Parks, have to look at things like product development. Do we have the right products for them? How do we get the right products to them? What do we modify? What do we tweak? For example, they're into adventure. They're into adventure. They want excitement. They want adrenaline.
They want authentic experiences.
Of
what
course.
does that mean?
They live for experiences, by the way. They live for experiences. They define themselves, according to research, less about material things and more about experiences.
So they're not asking you whether your sheets on your beds are X number of cotton threads. They're saying, what am I going to take out of this that I can talk about, that I can enjoy?
It's about how is this journey going to impact on me personally? What mark is it leaving in my brain, my soul, you know? So as you say, authentic experiences, what's so different? What's going to blow my mind about this journey?
And they don't want to be sold to. So how are you going to reach to them without selling to them?
That's another fascinating thing. You know, they are driven by technology, amongst other things, and that's why we also have to really upgrade our technology. Everything for them is about immediacy. So when they book, when you sell to them, or if they get interested in your product, they want to convert into a sale immediately.
Now.
You better be ready.
Now.
Now. And if your website is going to take 2 minutes to load, they've moved on. So that's a little bit scary, but be that as it may, we have to respond to that. And they don't respond very well to advertising.
They can't
Yes.
do with big sold.
They don't want to be punted to. And that's why we've seen in the travel industry the rise of things like a TripAdvisor, because peer review is working better than
it's trust.
It's trust, because the consumer has lost trust in the seller generally for a number of reasons. But even more so in the travel industry, people buy on peer review, on word of mouth. And even more so the millennials. If the one millennial says, well, the one person of that particular segment or a group of them say, I had a wonderful time, a blast of a time in a particular place, then they think, okay, it's worthwhile considering. Maybe then it's a bucket list destination. But when we go out and we punt directly to them that you have to do X, you have to do Y, they have that little measure of doubt. So even when we talk to them and reach out to them, we have to do that very, very differently. We don't want to let too many cats out of the bag at the moment, but we intend to talk to them and address them very differently, to say you actually just might want to experience what we have to offer.
It's going to be a fascinating journey. Scary, it sounds.
Yes.
By the sounds of it. Yes. But it sounds like you're up for the challenge. It sounds like you're ready, and you're ready to grab the segment with both arms.
We're very excited. We're very excited about what we have to do. But, you know, earlier on I was saying to my colleagues as well that we talk about product development because that's the key. They want to be active. You know, your older generation would visit a national park, for example, and have 3 game drives a day. And for them, that would constitute the most beautiful experience ever. So 3-4 hours of driving, 5 hours of driving. These guys are saying, I'll do one game drive, but after that I want a quad bike. After that I want to paraglide
Bungee jump.
and bungee jump and this and that. And we are not yes, we're not entirely equipped for that. But you know, the other thing, the other side about the work that we do in terms of product development is we also partner with the private sector in terms of private and public partnerships. So even millennials as entrepreneurs are a very critical facet to what we should do in developing products going to the future.
I also know that they want you to partner more with communities.
They do. You know, they're very socially responsible as well.
How do you engage with your community around you? If you're not doing well there, they're not coming.
Yes. So responsible tourism is a key tenet of how we operate in SANParks. And that is really about inclusive growth. How do we impact on the neighboring communities to our parks? And our parks, as you know, are usually in remote and rural areas. So our existence within a particular community has to have that multiplier effect economically, generally, and we do have that. But your millennial, which is an overused term, but everybody relates to it, your millennial wants to know, is my rand making a difference? Is my dollar making a difference beyond just me? Who am I giving it to? So as much as I'm saying it's a responsible tourism is a basic tenet of how we operate, it's becoming more and more of a need for us to also emphasize what it is we do with the communities and what impact we have.
Fascinating conversation. Hapiloe, who is one of the managing directors at SANParks, and that's part of the conversation here. How do we get these millennials, young people, to use our facilities more? How do we attract them? How do we advertise to them? Very difficult, but that's part of the kind of conversation that's happening here at Africa's Travel Indaba 2019.